Hi, this is Jessica Pimentel, and you're listening to If I Ruled the World podcast.
If I ruled the world, I love them, baby.
All right, If I Ruled the World podcast welcomes Jimmy G.
Yo, what's up?
Or Jimmy G has welcomed us to Astoria Soundworks.
In the heart of Astoria, Ditmars.
That's right.
Yeah, we just got here. You guys are rehearsing for your tour?
We're rehearsing with Felipe, who used to play in the band and is playing in the band again to fill in for our other bass player that fills in from our other bass player.
Right, it's the tag you're it system,
You
right?
know, when you grow up, it's hard to just leave for tour forever like we used to.
You get plantains back in the band.
Plantains and rum,
Yeah, that's it.
amongst other things.
So you're about a week away from your tour?
Yeah, we leave on Friday. I have Friday off if all things stop off. But yeah, we're heading to Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
And then we work our way down to Florida.
Awesome.
Basically, we're trying to make up for all the shows that I missed last year when I was in the hospital, too.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go out with Goddamn Gallows. So
Right.
we had to cancel that.
Well, let's start there. I wanted to talk to you because anyone that's privy to your social media will see certain updates of your health. And I know that you got hurt recently, and there's different things going on. So, and there was that benefit a couple years ago. So let's just start there. And I would ask you, how is your health these days?
I'm still not 100%. I got to go for another surgery on June 14th.
Okay.
That's another reason why we're doing the tour, because I'm going to be out of the mix for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to we're getting a new close to having the new record done and
Heard
ready.
that one before?
Unbelievable. Yeah, no, this is actually Rod, right? What do we got, like 7 songs now? Or more, yeah, we got a lot of shit.
Okay.
And I'm not bullshitting either. It's actually happening.
Why the record now?
Well, because I finally have a band that's, no pun intended, dedicated to playing in the band. All the other times it was like guys were putting the band aside for other projects, but yet the band lasted longer than any of their projects, and unfortunately for them. And it was just like people just kept putting it off. The band would get to, like the game Chutes and Ladders, we'd get to one point, and then somebody'd fall out, and then that music would all be gone. And then we get up again close, and then it'd be gone. But now, everybody's
It's true.
in.
Because every time you change like a member for all of us, anyone that's been in a band, like it just
Changes up.
It changes everything in chemistry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't work, and sometimes people do. But
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
But now the band that I have now is very loyal and want to have the same dream that I do, and other fans, because I'm a fan of the band, I guess, too, now, because I'm excited to get it done finally.
that's awesome.
And are you putting it out yourselves? Or is it
We're
going
going to record it and then see who wants to license it. I think that's, and now with the way things are, as opposed, I would have much prefer to go into a studio and do it analog,
Yeah.
as we've done all the other records. But now with digital technology, the way it is now, we can record digital through analog amplification and still get the warmth of analog without having to have
And spend
all
all
that
your
very
money in the
expensive.
studio.
Yeah, it's
Do it
been a
cheap.
while, but yeah, that's what it was. Like 2-inch tape, man. That's what everyone wanted to do. I went to school at Institute of Audio Research in Manhattan, and that's what I was splicing shit.
Yeah, I could splice tape. I know how to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I was like splicing that shit.
But it's an art,
It is. When was the last thing that you recorded then? Because it must have been a minute then.
We did we just recorded that 7-inch with Rancid, but we did that in my friend Stress's studio in Pennsylvania, which basically has analog stuff, but in the digital domain.
Okay.
Analog emulators.
Yeah.
But the last record we did was The Party's Over, and that was all done analog.
Okay.
That was at this guy Eddie Luke has a studio on Clinton Street, amazing big wood room, and we did it analog, mixed digital, and went back to analog mastering. So for simplicity of when we were mixing it, to save time.
Sure.
Went digital. So.
Yeah. And we were talking about on the way over here, of course, you've been doing this for so long. You have such a history. We could start anywhere. But we were talking about in the past couple years of Murphy's Law, there seems to be, a lot more interest. And then also you guys are a lot more active than maybe in some of the other years. Everything from like a mural of Jimmy G on the Vans wall to the Misfits show. And I'm curious, first of all, if we're right in what we're thinking, that there just seems to be more going on. And of course, we got to hear about the Misfits show.
I mean, the band has never stopped playing. I've never stopped. It's just, it's got, like life, it's got its ups and downs. But there's never been a year where the band hasn't played. it's just been, with members coming and going, depending on, and also not having an agent for a while.
Right.
A lot of people don't like that, but it definitely makes having the band separate from doing the band business a big thing. And an agent definitely takes care of a lot more business for taking care of getting the band booked, because unfortunately there's a circuit of promoters and agents that all work together, and if you're not part of that, you're not getting shows. It's hard. Or you're playing shitty shows, and that's where we were caught up in that for a while, because I was being stubborn. But now we have Katy Perry at Crawl Space, which she just went up from her agency, and now it's a bigger agency, so it's showing, and it's a surprise that the band has had sufficed a career anyway without putting records out.
Right.
It's just, I guess, when you write stupid, fun songs, people want to hear that.
Yeah.
For
sure.
And I'm not, obviously I never said I wanted, this was not my career. I just do this for fun. I guess I have a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
That was the key thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was the whole deal with it. It was like, and now we're playing a lot more, and it just seems to be, I hate to say retro. Everyone's into this. All these fucking bands are, now that they've raised their kids and they're in college and they paid for their fucking condos and their homes. Now all of a sudden their band's back.
Yeah, and that'll come out on Friday night.
Like, who give a fuck about you when your band was around before? But now people all of a sudden do give a fuck about these bands that might have played 4 shows at CB's. And it is what it is. I'd be so cliche about it. It's amazing that it still exists and people still show interest. So there's a whole new wave of kids that want to catch on to something that they weren't present for. So I'm lucky I can deliver that. And now that there's other people just throwing it back together again to do it.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Old time's sake.
Yeah.
So every time I've seen you play, like, you're basically one of the best frontmen that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
I play, I sing, he sings, like, we all, but like when you take the stage, you're like amazing. So just out of curiosity, what is it, and whether it's like to 50 people or fucking watching you play with the Misfits, in the beginning, like, what were some of the people that really influenced you to kind of, I don't know, just be kind of fearless, or
my mother. I grew up in a bar. My dad was a bartender in a bar that, like, made Goodfellas look like a gay bar. It was like a Coretta's bar on Broadway, and it was literally like Black Sal, Bobby Dust, Johnny Death, and it was all these gangster dudes in this bar that was open 24 hours, had slot machines behind a secret door, the whole deal. Shine shoes in the bar. So it was like, James, come here, let me tell you a story. So I was always in the midst of characters.
Yeah.
That basically I see that me and all my friends became characters like those old guys. And now we're becoming old guys like that. It's just, I hope that we can prevent the way things are getting with kids, where they're becoming such fucking sensitive pussies that you can't kid around or anything like that. You can't make fun of your fucking spick friend, or you can't even say that word. You can't make fun of a guinea, or people get so offended that they take it to the street and go, it's words. And when you make words so powerful, it really gives other people power that shouldn't have power. And, I'm just happy I could still do what I do, and kids come to see it.
Do you get any blowback these days?
No. I'm not running to Portland, Oregon. That's for sure. That's where, and that's, they're standing in the street stopping old people in cars, and you're white. Now all of a sudden, guilty.
Just X that right
guilty
off
of
the
being
tour.
guilty of being white.
Sure.
It's just I try to go. I'm lucky people come to see me and the band play and understand what they're gonna get. I'm just gonna bust your balls. I'm gonna have a good time, but it's nothing personal.
But I think everything, like, for how we grew up, like, I'm 41,
I'm 46. I'll be 46.
Ah, you're that old? I
Yeah.
forget it. But, like, if you grow up in such a way, like, we just busted balls, and that's what it was, and if it was funny, and that's what it was. And it kept everyone grounded.
Yeah.
It kept everyone fucking grounded.
Well, it also helps that we grew up in the tri-state area. These people, other people grow up in these sensitive families in California, fucking communes and shit, and they're all fucked up in the head already. That's why they're going to, or I won't even say which one, but organized religions and these political things. It's like, shut the fuck up. Life is too short to be fucking bugging out about all of this shit. You're not going to get all the plastic out of the ocean. Just do your own thing and shut the fuck up and do the best you can while you're here. And you know what? All right, you want to wear a dress, but you got a dick. That's fine. Do it. I don't care. Stop making such a big thing out of it. Stop. All right, you want to go to the ladies' room, but you're a man? Go ahead. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Stop marching in the street over it. Just shut up. You're a freak. Okay, go ahead. Go on with it.
Yeah, there's a difference between do whatever you want to do, but then there's an expectation you have to celebrate it, and if you don't celebrate it, then you're guilty.
You're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're an asshole. It's like no, I just don't give a fuck.
Care.
I just don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah,
leave that for San Francisco and fucking Portland, Oregon.
Not the Lower East Side.
No, the Lower East Side had. I worked at the Pyramid Club for 10 years.
Of course.
You know, right next to drag queens with Ray B's and everybody.
Shout out to Nino's Pizza.
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing though. It was like, all right, you know, all right, protect these people from getting beat up by Puerto Rican drug dealers, but you know, it wasn't. You know, it's not like it is now. People are like, ah.
Does any of this inspire you, like on the new songs?
No, all the new songs are about drugs and booze and fighting and fun.
More things change.
All right, good, yeah.
I don't want to disappoint anybody. I mean, we have a song, Paper Knives. It's about, you know, girlfriend leaving you that note that cuts like a knife.
Yeah.
That's our ska song. We got another one, Forged in Fire, that Raven wrote about just being hard, like another Blade song. All the songs are about knives.
Right.
No, it's another Blade song. And then we have another song called Golden Beer. That's like a happy golden beer when I'm sitting here drinking with you.
Yeah.
Golden beer.
I can almost hear the chorus.
When I'm sitting here drinking with you. It's like, you know, jolly, drunk, stupid guy song. Made for fat skinheads. But what's the other one with this? We have a zombie skinhead one. We have We're the Firm. We're evil. Felipe's. We have a record ready to go pretty much.
That sound.
It's just pre-production.
You have the
we
beer songs.
We have about a record. We have a record worth of songs right now, including his stuff, the stuff I got, stuff Raven had, and our other friend Ian. We compiled a lot of shit. So,
but let me ask you, like, you know, you as a singer, you know, the way that
I'm an entertainer, bro. I'm not a singer.
Well, I've heard you sing, like when you did Covered, you did that Pink Floyd song.
Yeah.
You have, and singing the songs that you sing.
Yeah, I like to sing. I do like to sing.
Yeah, you actually sing better than a lot of your average hardcore band.
Thanks.
Was there ever a thing in you, since it seems to me, and I could be wrong, Murphy's Law is the only band you've ever been in, right?
I tried to. I was with Doug when he started up with Kraut.
Okay.
And I was trying to be a drummer. This is when I was like 12 or 13.
Right.
And we were all in junior high school. Me, Johnny Feedback, Davey Gunner, and I guess I got snaked out by Davey Gunner because he had it more together than me for singing and play or making music, and I got jerked, and that's what motivated me to be in a band, because then I was like, fuck that, I could do this, and did it, you know.
Did you ever want to sing something different besides Murphy's Law?
Well, before I was ever in punk rock, I sang when I was a little kid, and in Coretta's bar, I got up with my uncle who was playing in a band and just started singing. Raindrops were falling on my head, and then I did a thing at Most Precious Blood Church where I got up and danced and sang in this thing. It was just like, it just came comfortably and naturally to me to be a ham and and a big mouth. It just singing comes along with it, and it works.
And it comes with melody, because I think you have an ear for melody.
I like to sing. I grew up around music. My grandfather, who I never met, owned a music studio in Brooklyn called Jimmy Pop's Music Studio, and he made drums and played all kinds of instruments and everything, and I never got to meet him. So I was intrigued by that. And my mother used to go to the Brooklyn Paramount shows, the rock and roll shows, so she turned me on to rock and roll music, and that's how it all kind of weaseled its way together. And
so it was never like, all right, I'm not going to do it in Murphy's Law, but I want to try something different in a different band.
Nah, I got what I got, and I don't want to fuck with it. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I have a good thing going. People love me and love the band and what the band does. So why would I want to, go like, well, I'm going to go play in
solo acoustic.
Yeah, I'm going to go play in Lavender, my new band. We're focused. I'm not going to say other bands that went from hardcore to all of a sudden they think they're better than they actually are. It's pretentious fucking pussy shit.
Go ahead, you can say it.
I'm not gonna. You know who I'm talking about.
I'll edit it out.
But yeah, okay. No, but you get these bands that come out that they're like, all of a sudden they think, who the fuck you are? You're nobody. You're nobody, just like I'm nobody. You're lucky to get any attention, and how to think you're better than other people and act like you're better than other people. You're not. This is the hardcore punk rock community. We all suck. We all come from fucked up stuff, because if we came from good stuff, we wouldn't be here. We'd be off doing good stuff. But it turned out that the mess that we are turned into one big family and an international thing, that doesn't seem to be going away.
Yeah, not at all.
So, but why would you want to leave that? See, I got this thing. I got a foundation in it. Why would I want to uproot it and go into some other thing because I think it's better? I got, this mess. It's going to kill me. I'm loving it.
Right. Little by little.
Yeah, little by little.
Little by
Tell
little.
that to my liver.
Life is long.
Yeah.
But you
I've
could
had
see
a good run.
You could see like like I said, even for like I said, watching you play with the Misfits on a humongous stage.
I was shitting my pants, dude. I'll tell you that right now. I was nervous.
Yeah. And then watching you play Irving, and then watching you play. My band played Even Flow with you guys.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's
the wing joint.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but either way, it's just like you said. What you just mentioned about like how you're no different than anyone else really comes off like it's not like a phony thing. Like it is like you're the band that played with the Misfits to a zillion people is the same person that plays the fucking Even Flow. Like it's just fucking great. So
Well, it's scarier to play to 100 people than it is to play to 30,000 people because
I agree.
30,000 people are like going to be happy no matter what you do because they're all joined. It's like the mob scene. It's like, yay, everybody happy. And of course, they're all going to go, one guy's going to go, yeah, and everybody else goes, yay. 100 people, or 50 people, you see all the expressions on their faces. When they turn their backs and not interested anymore, it's like, oh boy, all right, I'm losing them.
Yep.
30,000 people, all right, you lose 100 people, you don't notice. It's like, all right, they're still all of me. I'm going to keep going. It's the carpet of people. And then the little room, those are the hardest shows, the ones with nobody in them.
do you notice people like through the years like more on their phone now? Like what was that change like?
I tell you what, everybody cried about how much it cost to get in. If it's too much to get in, don't pay to get in. Those guys invested enough of their lives, and it's not cheap to do a fucking show like that, especially for guys like that. I mean, if you don't like it, don't do it. Don't go.
Yeah.
Stop
Right.
complaining. And the thing with no phones, I was like, that's once I was standing there where I was standing, it was awesome. There was no sea of fucking little square lights. It was a show.
Yeah.
And I understand it now. It's out of hand. What are you filming it for? What the fuck all right, one guy film it and then share it.
Yeah.
Why did 20
One guy.
people, and what are you going to go home? What are you going to go home when you're taking a shit later and go, let me watch the show again?
No, they post it because
just
it's validation.
Yeah, it
It's
takes.
like,
I was here. Look at me. Ding
Yeah.
ding.
I could not have let that show go like I have like my whole
I got my Halloween band.
I actually covered up my original Misfits tattoo that I got at County.
So you got two. You got one
Riverhead.
over the other one.
Well, I got one in Riverhead in like '97.
You got to get it in Lodi, man. Otherwise, it's not a real Misfits tattoo.
But,
it's like a
like-
Murphy's Law tattoo. You got to get it in Astoria, bro.
Queens.
I needed to be there. So what was it like? Like how'd you guys end up on that huge Misfit show?
Glenn, I know those guys since I'm a little kid, and we toured with them. That's how Goat wound up joining the Misfits. We toured with them with Chud, Michael Graves, who did a great job
Great
singing.
job.
He was great.
American Psycho was
that
such
was
a
a great
great
band.
record.
Yeah, I think he got kind of jerked, but they could have kept rolling as the Misfits with Michael Graves and still been a valid with Chud, Doyle. That was still a good Misfits. And Michael came out with the Scarecrow bit. He was great, but I don't know what happened. So Misfits drama, and the band bailed on Jerry, and that's when Goat joined up while we were on tour with them. Goat didn't even know any Misfits songs, and all of a sudden he's playing with the Misfits. And they flew Zoli out. Zoli from Ignite started singing, which was a treat for me. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool to watch this all going down. And, so we had a relationship. And I get along great with Doyle, and they wanted us to do it. They wanted old school people to do it. It was just weird when I found out Harley was going to do it, and with all the drama with him. And it was, luckily that day, he was humble, and it was nice. And, I don't have time for that drama.
Yeah, there was kind of like, we're not exactly a gossipy podcast,
Yeah,
but since
yeah.
you brought it up,
Oh, I'm a gossipy son of a bitch.
well, fair enough. Let's.
I love talking. I'm famous for talking shit, I guess. But
I'm curious about that. Like, was there like?
no,
you had to-
I saw him.
yeah.
I'm a member of a certain hardcore family, and my brothers don't get along with him for many good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to show respect for my brothers too. When somebody's got a problem with somebody, we stand together, and I need to, regardless of how long I know this guy. And I'll tell you what, I was making the stand for him to be like, enough's enough, all right, and there he was with his kids who are like my nephews. I watched them get born and stuff, and
Yeah.
and he was nice, and things were smoothing out, and I was like, all right, here we go. And he was be quiet online, and woo, here we go. And then Todd Youth died, and Todd wasn't, his body didn't even cool down, and Harley was already putting him down and talking shit about our friend that just died,
Heard about that, yeah.
online,
Mm-hmm.
and then to try to cover it up when he got called out of Jackass to say his page got hacked.
Mm-hmm.
What are we, stupid? he didn't get hacked. That's a crock of shit. That obviously that vitriol, horrible shit came out of his mouth, and that was it. I'm like, I'm done with this guy. I don't need that person. I have too much good times in my life. I don't need some negative person being bad and hateful in my life. I have enough fucking shit coming around me. I don't need to put that person next to me.
Right.
And drain my fucking good energy. I sound like a hippie now, but
it's
but
true. It's true.
It
Like
saps. I guess we say it sucks
Yeah.
the good times out of
The
you.
older you get, like the more you like if you're around negative shit, like it's true. Like it just
makes you tired. It takes it, and then everybody else, it's like, oh, what are you? And it's like, hey, I don't want to be. I'm not around this guy. Don't talk to me about him. Leave me alone. I don't want to know about him. And, there's too many other good things going on to talk about bad things.
You can spend way too many hours of the whole day on shit that you might even tolerate when you were younger.
Yeah.
I used to tolerate certain people that were really fucked up, and you get older and you go,
Life's too
I
short.
just can't.
Too
I
short.
just
Shit
can't.
goes by too fast.
Yeah.
It's like Rick Healy. Everybody, and with that, I feel bad for him because he's obviously fucking mentally, he's sick.
Something wrong.
So obviously he was never that way. He's a different person now. He even looks like a different person. So I don't know what he's on, what meds he's on. He's obviously on a bunch of shit, and it's not him. And of course the whole scene turns on him. And I know he said a lot of things, and what he sold somebody's cassettes or something. He didn't rape anybody. He didn't kill anybody. All right. Stuff. So ignore him. Don't make him like this big fucking joke. And I put it to people. I'm like, it doesn't take much to go get a fucking $99 shotgun and walk into a show and start pumping rounds into people.
Yeah.
People don't understand that there's a point of tolerance for people's mentality. He's just going to be like, feel so disrespected and so alone that he's going to just come to a show and start killing people.
Right.
It's not like it hasn't happened before.
And it's an easy thing to do because it's faceless. Like you can do it more and easily online.
It's happening every fucking day.
So
for others,
it's a pile-on too.
Yeah,
and
like if somebody does something, it's easy to just join the club and pile on someone. Where years ago, if you really had an issue, you had to go face to face. So it's just like a different thing, So
it's easy to sit behind a typewriter and a typewriter. A
Typewriter?
a paper typing machine. The paper internet.
Yeah, it's like people who hate Lars from Metallica and they don't know why. And Injustice for All is the greatest.
Well, he is a
album.
douche, but
But Injustice for All,
he's just a
give him
douche.
that one.
Yeah, well, that's a law. That's like saying the first, when you did the first Murphy's Law record. He's a one-trick pony, that guy. He's just a pompous ass, too. He's another one. They need to be put on a spaceship and sent to another planet to do their rock and roll fantasy. But, yeah.
So make fun of Lars, yes. Make fun of Rick Healy, no.
Okay.
Well, Lars has got too much going for him to give a fuck.
Yeah.
He knows he's a douche.
Yeah. He already owns
He does have a nice snare drum, though. That Lars Ulrich, I had one with a diamond plate snare drum. It's like 200-pound snare drum. I'm a schmuck. I like snare drums. I don't play drums. I like bass rigs. I don't play bass. But,
Oh, yeah?
I have good taste, though. I like the finer things in life.
Yeah, I guess through the years you just like what you like, especially.
Oh,
Sure.
my God. I know good equipment. I know, I like fancy motorcycles and beautiful basses.
So I wanted to ask you, too, about being a front man, because I've seen you play.
I'm a front person, bro.
Yeah, let's not get piled on over the wrong.
I'm
sorry for whoever.
Let's not assume.
I'm not a man anymore. I'm just Jimmy.
The front person of
Jay. Just call me Jay.
So
I'm androgynous.
Being who you are, I saw you play in Germany, and it was in front of a couple hundred people, and there was like a little bit of resistance in the beginning. And now this is 94. There's a fucking language barrier. Yeah. And I saw Jimmy get up and literally one by one get everybody interested in the band. And by the end, it was just like fucking New York. And I'm being that type of front man. I'm curious who you're influenced by. Like who would be your favorite front persons?
Leaving from Fear. I hate to admit it, but Jello Biafra, when I was a kid, the first time I saw him play, I saw him at Bond's Casino in Times Square, and he diving off the stage and running around, but
Yeah.
Then once you hear him for 35 years, and he's like, well, the government, it gets a little aggravating. But when I was 13, I was like, wow, this guy's crazy. This is great, And I don't know how he ever got kicked out of Dead Kennedys. I don't get it, but he was definitely a big influence on me. And of course, Lee Ving, big influence. You know, Animal from
Probably
Anti-Nowhere
the
League.
easiest guy to hang out with.
What's
Joe
that?
Biafra. That would be my guess. I don't know him.
I've never hung out with him. And if you think after all these years I would have met that guy, I never.
Yeah,
I
right.
met him once in San Francisco.
But
Did you?
I did.
I heard he's a nice guy.
He was very,
Yeah,
very
he was
nice. But
nice.
I'm saying there's a difference. Like sometimes you like, oh my God, my favorite band. But hanging out with them all the time might be a
Well,
different
that was
story.
what the Ramones, when we went on tour with the Ramones, Johnny Ramone was a huge disappointment to the point where I almost beat the shit out of him. And
I've heard that too.
yeah, he was a fucking asshole.
What'd he do?
I don't want to see he's dead. I don't want to. Now I'm going to be like Harley, but this is not me creating stuff. This is what the guy actually did. It was like we were on tour with them. We were doing a whole U.S. tour with them, and Richie Stotts from the Plasmatics, his band, and Joey got sick. Joey's always unhealthy, but Joey had gangrene in his foot for some reason. So we happened to be in L.A., and they had to go back for Joey to get an operation on his foot, but they were going to continue the tour on. So we stayed in L.A. for almost about a month and just hung out and played music and played sneaky shows and just hung out in L.A. We took an advance when you could on royalties from the record label and stayed at Flea's house and stayed in a motel and just went, lived the dream.
That's wild. What year was this?
I don't know, a long time ago, dude.
Okay.
Long before cell phones. Back in fax machine days. But we hunkered down. We spent money, We weren't making a living at it as well. It was costing us money to wait to play with them. And, of course, we wouldn't do that for the Ramones. First show back, Petaluma, California, arm wrestling capital of the world.
Of course.
And remember that movie?
Over the
Remember
top.
the movie Over the Top?
Over the top.
that
Come
I
on.
don't
We do a
remember.
song.
Yeah.
We do a song. One of our songs we recorded where I go over the top at the end. I don't even know why I do that,
You
but
got to spin your hat around.
we
while
do,
you do
Petaluma,
this. Yeah.
Petaluma, California. So we're Petaluma first show. Chuck Valley, rest his soul, is on stage playing and spits, not spits at a kid, spit on the equipment, just spit. He smoked cigarettes. He had to spit, and that was it. We were off the tour, and I'm like, what? And Jack Flanagan, our manager at the time, was just like, Jack Flanagan from the Mob. He's like, yeah, Johnny wants you off the tour because Chuck spit on stage. I'm like, without talking to us or anything. So I went in the back to talk to him, and he put his hand. I went, can I talk to him? And he put his hand on my face. And I grabbed his hand and spun his hand around. I was gonna break I could have broke his hand. I was like, yo, don't put your fucking hand on my face when I come to speak to you like a gentleman. I was like, I'll break your fucking hand. And he had just got the shit beat out of him at an airport somewhere for being a smart mouth. And I was like, remember what happened at the airport? I said, this would be a lot worse. I said, I'm not going to fuck you up on your own tour. I'll wait till you get home, and I'm going to fuck you up when you get back to New York. I said, I'll see you when you get home. And bailed. So that was it. We were, that's when there was like 20 of us sleeping in one room. I'm in a closet with some girl. And
Wait, you got to be politically correct.
I was in a closet with some person.
Man? Yeah.
It was definitely a girl. I tasted. It tasted like girl. It didn't taste like cock. It tasted like pussy. They have their own flavors.
But you.
So anyway, we get a call from Monty Melnick, the Ramones manager, and he's like, yeah, Johnny wants you just to apologize, and you guys could be back on the tour. I was like, all right. I was like, I'm sorry you're being a jerk to me, and I was gonna fuck you up. Literally did that. Not a blindsided apology. I was like, I'm sorry you're being a jerk, and I was gonna fuck you up. Sorry. And that was it. I was like, here's the fucking phone. I don't care if we're on it. I'm gonna fuck him up. And then it was but he was like Marky would come up and play with Doug Beans during sound check, and Johnny would bug out. Like, it's none of your business. Go back and fiddle with your guitar. Johnny, they were being nice. Joey would come up with a Murphy's Law shirt on, and Johnny would get all pissed off. He was just such an uptight fucking prick, man. He sold my friend Danny Sage one. So he could buy like baseball cards because he only liked baseball, and he was a fucking Republican, far from punk rock. And he sold Danny Sage from Degeneration one of his fucking minted out Moss-Rite guitars with the fucking paperwork and everything. He's like, I don't care about it. And then croaked. I was like, man, Danny Sage, you just got your retirement fund, dude. Yeah, he's got like a mint Johnny Ramone Moss-Rite guitar, like. Whew.
I heard. I don't know if it's true, but the KKK Took My Baby Away was the song
about him fucking Joey's girl.
Yeah,
he really. Yeah, he was not the nicest guy to Joey. Joey was a sweetheart, and so was Dee Dee. So was Tommy. I had the opportunity. He was the only bad seed in the mix. but thought he was the best guy in the world and the smartest guy in the world. But he was just a dick. Because Dee Dee, was great. Dee Dee was just a saint. And so when Dee Dee died, I got to play with Tommy Ramone and CJ and Daniel Ray, and we did some Ramone songs at the Continental for memoriam. And same thing when Joey died. But sad.
Yeah, the Joey birthday parties were crazy.
Yeah, Mickey's Joey's brother does. They just did another one, but
That was the first time I saw the Super Suckers.
Yeah,
Fucking blew me away.
We toured with those guys.
Holy
we toured with
shit.
those guys with Reverend Horton Heat. A little awkward.
Yeah.
Well, another little personality clash between me and Eddie Spaghetti.
Eddie
but
Spaghetti.
That got worked out. I don't wear cowboy hats or cowboy boots
Yeah.
to be manly. Oh, there I go again with the manliness. It must be the scrotum between my legs that's making me so manly.
It's just you're showing your personness.
That's it.
Jimmy.
It's my persona.
So I'm curious too. Unfortunately, Todd had passed. We'd be remiss not to bring him up
really
in this interview.
horrible.
And what was your relationship like? Towards the end there, because a lot comes out about what a wonderful guy he was. I didn't know him.
Me and him were great. It's just that once again, separation, 3,000 miles of separation.
Yeah.
That was the same thing that happened to Chuck. He wasn't around his people.
Right.
He was on tour with strangers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Chuck story. He was on tour with strangers, leaving himself separate from people that were tight and knew that had his back. When you're far from home, you're far from home. You're on your own. Somebody fucked with you, you're fucking fucked.
Target.
Can't call the cops. What are you gonna call the cops and wait?
Mm-hmm.
Can't roll around with a gun on you when you travel. If you do, you're gonna get in trouble one day. But because I've done it, and it's just like Chuck was alone, and somebody fucked with Chuck, and the people that were with Chuck weren't really tight. And that's how Chuck got killed, because the two other guys that were with him when he got stabbed didn't do anything to protect him.
Right.
And Todd, when he was going through pain and trouble, and he had drug problems and stuff too that he was battling with, which turned into Hare Krishna problems. Of course, you get fucked up on drugs, so of course you go to some organized religion to free your mind, which I think it just clouds your mind more.
Okay.
You need to be with your people, not with some bullshit purple god religion or some other. You need to be with the people you grew up with.
Yeah.
And not have some kind of bullshit spirituality trying to clean you up. And he was too far from his friends, me especially, and was going through some shit for over like 2 weeks, and no one from his L.A. people called any of us in the New York family, because I would have got on a fucking plane and flew right out and dragged him back home to his wife, to his kids, to his family, me. And he just wound up alone and got fucked up. I heard it was nothing to do with dope. I heard he got drunk and fell and hit his head and refused medical attention, went home, sat on his chair in his apartment, and died.
Wow.
Holy shit.
It's fucking sad, All after all that, it's hard to even talk about it. Die alone.
Yeah, just 3,000 miles
It's
of
sad.
separation.
Because you need your friend to be like, I'm taking you to the fucking
I'm
hospital.
taking you out.
You need.
Yeah.
I'm taking you out of here. I'm gonna sit vigil with you. All right, you don't want to go to the hospital? I'm gonna sit here and stare at you and make sure you don't nod out or die or anything or pass out or bleed to death. Where was it? Where was all these people that was sucking his dick when he was playing with Ace Frehley that wanted to get into shows and Glenn Campbell, and when he was all these shows, I'm sure his phone rang off the fucking hook every night.
Yeah.
And now when you got problems and you're wandering the streets in L.A., which you can't do it very long because you get arrested or the bars close at midnight. The great town that is, and he was alone.
Yeah.
Boom. He should have had a flock of people around him. Where the fuck were they? So
Yeah, man.
fuck you, L.A.
That's an interesting thing about New York hardcore. Can say what you want about it, but there is something when you've been in it long enough, you learn about that.
Yeah.
The group that you come up with and who's around you, and people come and go, but if you've been around it long enough, you can start picking apart people who helped you or who matter or who would you can call right now.
I'm fucking I could write a book on how many people took my back in the past year. That once I got sick, it was unbelievable. The feeling. I could only wish he could have felt that.
Yeah.
The
Tompkins Square Park thing was like, how many benefits have you done in your life? And now finally, and I'm sure that's a
glad I did all those benefits, boy. It paid off.
Hey,
No.
say what you want about Christian, but that's karma right there.
I guess I had good karma.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, I have no right to ever be sad or depressed or anything anymore, because every time I do feel bad or it's natural to have emotions, I got to put myself in check because I'm like, look at the fucking way people came out for me, and it's also for everybody else. Look at the way everybody should look at each other and about, look what we did, for our friend. It was like, wow, it was humbling, beyond humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in shock. Never ever forget it. Sitting there looking out at the crowd and just being like, everyone's here for me.
It's a lot easier to give or to play a show than it is to like be the focal point of it, because like my girlfriend's dog had cancer in its paw, and the same thing, like my friends that have a booking company, they're like, we want to throw a benefit show for you, and we were like, I don't want that. Fucking did it anyway, and they paid for the operation. And
should have had us come. We could have did Murphy's Paw.
Well, yeah. Now we have a tripod.
Yeah, a tripod.
But I know that you do the benefits as well with our buddies, the Ice Cold Killers, probably. Right?
Yeah, we just did a benefit for Brick City Rescue, and rounded up over $7,000, and then also all kinds of supplies and stuff. And then we just did another one like 2 weeks ago in Queens for Second Chance Rescue. It's just like paying it back. It's like dogs make us and cats make us feel so good, unconditional love, and we treat them like shit as humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we treat vegans, we treat animals like shit, and it's horrible, but we got to eat too. And I get guilt, but I mean, it's the way we were raised. I wasn't raised a vegan or a vegetarian, otherwise my life would be easier. I believe me, I know that it's better to eat that, but goddamn, a fucking cheeseburger tastes good sometimes.
It does. I
Who you talk to.
I had one yesterday.
Yeah, I did too.
With some jalapenos.
You think about the Impossible Burger and the Beyond Burger. They're made in laboratories.
Is that better? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think 500 ingredients and scientists making something so it could taste like something that's real. A nice piece of organic Wagyu that was rubbed and loved until it was time to go bye-bye is a lot better than eating a chemical-laden fake thing, I think.
I agree. I think that's totally true.
And half the stuff, it's not what's GMO, it's genetically modified stuff. I don't want to put that stuff in me, man. I'd rather eat a piece of deer, a nice piece of venison, But, then there's the guilt and the pain. And
there is, because life. Like I usually say if my meal didn't come murdered, I would be a vegetarian because I couldn't do it. But it comes murdered.
I have
pre-murdered.
Pre-murdered. Yeah. It comes murdered for you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you too. Like in the beginning of this, you said that now you have a group of guys who share your dream, and you used the word dream.
Well, it's our dream now. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we have some of the past players, and that was the change. Yeah. So you probably always had a dream. Maybe it was different dreams. What is the dream now these days at 53, touring? Still
getting the fucking record out. That's my dream is to actually just start playing again. Where it's just like, I know he's a goddamn fireman, and he's got another band. He plays in the Craze. He's got he teaches in school. He's got a family. It's just like, and they still make time to come. He comes from Philly, and he comes from and our other bass player comes from Connecticut to practice here to accommodate me, because this is where I want to be, and to write. Write, you got. I can't sit. I have ADD as it is, and I can't just sit in my room and go, right, here we go. I'm gonna write stuff down. I'll literally sit in front of paper and go, oh wow, I never saw that on the wall. And then it's like all of a sudden, oh wow, I got another one on the other side, and it'll be like, oh wow, I haven't seen that skull pendant on the ceiling. And then,
so how do you write? How do you get it done?
I literally on napkins and matchbooks or in the van, Raven will jot, because I'll come up with something, and 3 minutes later it'll be gone. So Raven's got to write it down right away. It's like literally pulling teeth with me, because I come up with tons of stuff. It's just that I don't write it down as soon as I come up with it. And if I don't do it right away, it's gone.
Yeah.
Raven's your drummer?
No, Raven's the little black guy. He's not here right
player.
now.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
He's the old man. No,
the sax
he wasn't.
player.
We didn't need him today. He'd be sleeping anyway.
Jimmy needs a personal assistant.
He is my. He's not my assistant. He's my right hand man.
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, the sax player.
He is my partner in crime.
For sure.
I do know him. The majority. I met him playing with Harley and the Stimulators. He was the sax player for the Stimulators.
Oh wow.
So I met him when I was about 13.
Wow. Okay.
So I know him a long, long time.
Another one. I feel like you did a benefit for him too, right?
Yeah. No, I did the GoFundMe thing for him when he was in. He had 3 stints put in his heart.
Okay. Jeez.
All right, so we have the full band here, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to be respectful of your time. These guys come from all over.
That's fine.
So maybe we should. How much time we have here?
And we get to we're good here. They,
Oh, yeah,
they take care of us.
I think we could do the last question.
Yeah. So, name of the podcast is called "If I Ruled the World." So we ask every guest that we have, Jimmy G, if you ruled the world, what would that look like?
No religion, no money, no hunger, no war, no homelessness, no depression, no drug addiction, no abuse. You know, happy, joy.
All right, Raven, write this down.
You know, no one.
It sounds like John Lennon imagined, just a little bit better.
But you know what you know, what is wealth? You know, I have wealth. I have love from my friends. I have interest from my friends. I have respect from my friends. Worldwide, you know, I think I got more than I asked for.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't expect this to happen or to go this far, or to be continually people continually request to see this stupid band and have us act like drunken idiots and be entertained by it. You know, it's like I think I do rule the world in my own circle right now. I'm pretty happy, and I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky to have these guys around me. I'm lucky to be alive.
Because that's the thing, seeing you for as many years as I have and as many times as I have, you pull something out of people. You could say Murphy's Law and you make the joke it's about beer and pussy in the songs.
It used to be teeth. Now I pull stuff out of people.
Yeah. But you know, there's like when you go see Murphy's Law live, it just reminds you of having fun, why you got in it, friendship. There's an intensity to it that, you know, you particularly genuinely pull out of the crowd, whether they thought that was going to happen or not. And it's incredible. From day one of this podcast, I was like, the list is Jimmy Stamper. We have to have him on.
You were definitely probably at the top next to HR.
Well, thanks for having me on it. I appreciate it, and it's nice to be able to get opinions out and people to listen to it. You know, it's cool. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
And now with the format that we have, God, I don't know if I was a kid if I had one of these things to record with when I was a kid, what would have got done?
Yeah.
When we were all sitting in a squat together and
it would have gotten stolen.
Yeah, well, yeah, it would have got
nothing would have gotten done because it would have been running down the street.
Stolen or smoked or sniffed or
that
something.
iPad would have been duct taped.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not like a couple rails haven't been chopped up on an iPad in front of me, boy.
Oh yeah.
So it would have gotten used.
Yeah.
My mistake.
But yeah, if I ruled the world, there'd be no rulers. There'd be nothing but good times and happy people. You know, basically.
I dig it.
Cool.
Thank
you for doing
Thank
it.
you guys.
All right,
Thanks so much.
If I rule the world, I love 'em, baby.